I realize I'm about to come off sounding like a real simpleton. That's an old school word, isn't it? Like I'm just ignorant. Back in the 80s, there was this big sort of, an explosion, if you will, of debate between evolutionists and creationists. And that's probably the easiest way to break it down. And what a lot of people think is the creationists started just making a lot of noise. And it's not true. What some of the people in the scientific community figured out when they took an honest look at the data, they looked at it and said, wait a second, maybe we've created a belief system here because this doesn't add up. And of course, they took it from there and it exploded into more and more controversy. So let's talk about that. I'm Zach. This is The Average Christian, a project simply about what it means to have a relationship with God, how to live that out in practical terms, and working on keeping ourselves accountable. So how would this lesson fit into that framework? Well, this is just knowledge. I want to simplify, and at the risk of just sounding stupid and ignorant, I want to go back to the very foundational aspects of what people accept as fact and belief and truth. And I want to tell you, Christian, when you start to feel like maybe we don't have the answers, when you start to feel threatened because so many people shout about all the facts that they have and the proof and the evidence, it's interesting because the Bible is not evidence to them. It's just another book or however they want to classify it. And they act like we have actual proof, and it's shaken a lot of Christians. And they really don't. And nobody can prove that God exists. I can't, in certain terms, cannot prove that to you. I can make a great logical argument. I can make an archaeological argument. I can make a historical argument. I can make a scientific argument, but I can't prove to you. And at the same time, they can't prove to me that he doesn't exist. They just can't do it. So what we're talking about at the foundation of all of this is belief. The scientific community regarding evolution as just one facet has created a belief system. Now, how do I mean? People will say, well, I have facts. Oh, really? You've done the research yourself then? Well, no, but so-and-so and so. So you believe that these people in this group did these tests and they are exactly the truth. That's the only way you can say it. Somebody recently is talking about the historicity of the Bible and saying, well, there's no way we can know, and it's been transcribed and it's been translated so much that we don't know if we even have the truth anymore. No, the truth is you believe that some other people who've doubted the Bible and doubted its validity and it as the source of truth, you believe their word over God's, over this one. See, somewhere you're going to have to deposit your belief because nobody knows for sure like that. You say, well, we have historical records. Oh, really? Of 500 years ago. So you're believing that record. There's no way they could have made that up. There's no way they could have. Well, no, it's various records. And this is just one book. Well, you have 40 plus authors in one book, basically 66 chapters of one book, 40 something authors over 1600 years of time with this great amount of, this absolute congruity here where they all meet up and mesh into one great story that overarches all of it. And we could go on and on. My point is this: you don't need a great education. You don't need to know the sciences. You don't need to know your archaeology and history and philosophy and all those things. It just comes down to who do you trust. Now, God says if you're going to be with me, it's going to take faith and trust. You either believe this or you don't. And if you choose not to, perfectly within your right. And I have no right to judge that. When I look at Hebrews chapter 11, but here's why I want to do this video is because I hear Christians backing down from this, acting like faith is just stupid, acting like if you believe and have faith, well, you're just part of a religious group. No, everybody chooses to believe. Nobody has absolute and has done all the absolute research themselves, has the facts. Why are my facts, these facts that I choose to believe, not good enough? They may not be good enough for that person. They're certainly good enough for me for a variety of reasons. You know probably Hebrews 11 in verse 1. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. When you look at that word in the Greek that's translated in the English Standard, conviction, a proof, that by which a thing is proved or tested. So in the King James, New King James, it uses the word evidence. This is my evidence. Faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. This fills in the gaps because I believe it. Now, I have great reasons that I don't have time in this video or probably a series of videos to go through, but I choose to believe it for a variety of these reasons. By faith is the rest of the book base, or the rest of the chapter basically. In verse 2, for by it people of old received their commendation. By faith we understand, not just believe, but we understand that the universe was created by the word of God. Christians are having trouble with that one right now. Evolution has become so pervasive in our society that now Christians are saying, well, I just don't know. It seems like there's an old earth, and we can't just read Genesis 1 in the evening, in the morning, or the first day, on and on through the sixth day and say, that's exactly how it happened. God said He was very specific about it. That's how it happened. No, we have to try to sort of mesh with the world around us, or explain to them, or come up with our own new set of facts, which is in many ways ridiculous. But by faith we understand, because we believe it, that the universe was created by the word of God so that it was seen. What is seen was not made out of things that are visible, which is, how do you explain that scientifically? That God created literally out of nothing. And the scientific community has been trying to do that for years, hundreds of years, and they can't figure it out. And they have laws that say it's impossible. God says that's exactly how He did it. Verse 4, by faith Abel offered a more acceptable sacrifice than Cain, through which he was commended as righteous, God commending him by accepting the gifts. And through his faith, though he died, he still speaks. By faith Enoch was taken up so that he should not see death. He was translated, as we say, and he was not found because God had taken him. Now before he was taken, he was commended as having pleased God. And with what? Well, verse 6, without faith it is impossible to please Him. Whoever would draw near to God must believe that He exists and that He rewards those who seek Him. God has left many evidences, and I am so appreciative for so many people who've done great amounts of work to show us those evidences. But at the very foundation, it has to be a belief. I choose to believe in God. I believe in this supreme being who is over all, who loves all, who has sacrificed and continues to sacrifice for all, who loves perfectly, who never lets down, who lives out faithful. And in this conditional relationship, He never, ever lets down, even if I don't understand it. You may believe differently. You have that right. They may say to you and say to me that they have facts and they have evidence, to which I would reply, I do too. You just choose not to believe my facts and evidence. I choose not to believe your facts and evidence, because it is all based in belief. I want to thank you for being with us today. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. Hit this button below. We made it easy for you. Subscribe and help us out. If you want to see what was released last time or what YouTube recommends, those two videos are over here. For our podcast listeners, we thank you for being with us as well. We're asking you to subscribe, rate, and review. And everyone, share this with somebody else to help get the word out.